We need to do something besides having Jamaicans on this program. Every week, a beer Jamaican on there. We need to have include somebody else at some point. But tonight we have all Jamaicans. So our first topic is about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris and Jamaica. What I say, it's complicated. Kamala Harris, as we all know, recently elected the vice president elect of the United States. Why do I say it's complicated? Well, I would say it's complicated from the standpoint of her background. As we know, she is her mother is Indian, her father is Jamaican. They met as immigrants in California. Her mother passed away, I'm not sure how long ago. And when she's talking about her background, certainly as of late, like when she gave her introduction, when she was just introduced as the nominee, and she gave a speech talking about her background, she talked about her Indian mother. She talked about all that, but her father never came up. Hey, things happen. Her parents got divorced when she was 5 years old. And then her mother had primary custody of her. And so her mother's the one who kind of raised her. But things happen in families. What happens. I've seen a recent picture of her. Well, certainly as an adult, her sister and the father together. So they've had, at least within the past 15, 20 years, had some sort of relationship. But, it's, there's been a lot of, I've seen like in the media, in the Jamaican media, people saying like, oh, she doesn't really like talk about Jamaica and claim Jamaica. And I would say it is, I remember sitting there watching when she was introduced as a vice presidential candidate, and she gave her background, her biography, and she talked about her mother came from India, and not a single mention of Jamaica. If you and daddy drop out, cool. But it's just like, I just wanted to hear some reference, because I know she spent a good amount of time in Jamaica when she was young, because her cousins in Jamaica talk about it, how she used to come there and run up and down in country like everybody else. So it's just like you kind of wanted to hear that. But whatever happens at the family happens. The only time I've heard her father referenced, and so her father's alive. Her mother's passed away. I think her father still lives in the United States. While she was the presidential candidate, she did an interview on the Breakfast Club, and they're asking about ganja legalization, saying how she used to burn weed in college and whatever, and so she's for legalization, and then she said, being from Jamaica and all, right? It's on the Breakfast Club, so it's kind of, relaxed atmosphere. And so she said that like in a joking manner. Her father then made a statement, and that's the only thing I've ever heard him say about her, and I haven't heard him say anything since, where he kind of denounced it, like, that's basically Jamaicans aren't just about burning ganja, right? And I haven't heard anything from him since. So, with all that as a background, I will start off with the ladies, because we're talking about Kamala Harris. What is your position on, not on Kamala Harris, the candidate, but do you fully embrace her as a Jamaican, or do you think that there's kind of like somewhat of a void there between her and Jamaica, as I think there is? Famu, start off with you.
I have never seen her as a Jamaican, and I do not see immigrant kids as coming from that native country that their parents is from. So I would say she could have, how would I say it? I don't see her as a Jamaican, but should she maybe speak more of her Jamaican roots, or make it an equal playing field for her mom and her dad? That depends on the relationship that they had. And I don't know if based on what her dad came out and say that we're not the family she's from, and her grandmother would have been, upset for her to talk about ganja, associating it with her family. So I don't know if that's what caused her to not want to promote the Jamaican side like how she does the Indian side. But we would need to know a little bit more about her background, how she grew up, how close she was with her parents, individually. I am a daddy's girl, so I'm always talking about my dad. I remember in the 9th grade, my teacher asked if my mom didn't do anything because I never talked about my mom. And I'm like, yeah, my mom does everything. I say, I look like my mom, so there's no reason to talk about my mom. But I went everywhere with my dad. Right. But it didn't mean I loved my mom any less. It's just that I had more of, what I think people wanted to hear in terms of my rapport with my dad versus my mom, who is more quiet. So my mom doesn't say a whole lot. My dad is more the jovial one, the one that's outgoing, that, everybody sees. And I'm everywhere with my dad. So if I was in Kamila's shoes, you would have heard about my dad and not necessarily hear anything about my mom. So again, I think it boils down to the relationship that she has with her dad and the relationship she has with her mom, and just how much she's able to, be herself around either of them.
Yeah, and so it's not an issue really. It's a commentary because children who of divorced parents often gravitate towards one versus the other. So it's not the fact that she doesn't really talk about her father. That is what it is. I just kind of wish that she would reference Jamaica, right? In talking about her values, and she can reference going run up and down in Brownstone or what have you. I mean, you don't have to be all specific like that. But it would just be kind of nice to hear, to acknowledge that part of her background. You don't have to say anything about daddy. You can.
The fact that she didn't bring in her grandparents at all, and that's maybe where her Jamaican culture would have maybe come in some more since she came to Jamaica, spend time. Because I did see a picture floating around with her and her grandmother. So maybe if she was talking about her parents, then that would have come out some more. But she just talk about her mom. That's basically all she says. She doesn't really reference India. She just says her mom. So we make that kind of correlation between India and her versus Jamaica and her, because she talk about her mom.
That's true.
That's the angle I look at it from. I mean, I was disappointed when I listened to her speech and I didn't hear anything about her dad. I was like,
I was waiting.
I was not in her life. I'm like,
I was waiting for some Jamaica reference.
But I was like, okay. So there goes another man that wasn't there.
Yeah. So special. What do you think would be the reception if she goes to Jamaica as vice president? Do you think it? You remember when Obama went to Jamaica? All right. That's
Jamaica.
Yeah. So how you think Jamaicans would receive her as one of our own, or just another Yankee vice president? What do you think?
Yeah, man. You see, Jamaica is a warm-hearted country, and
anyway.
We're willing to accept anybody, even with flaws, and I feel they'll embrace her. Because all she have to do is just go down there and drop Obama upon them. And then go on Jamaica. Right? And everybody just outside.
No, because they don't come out right. They go, don't even try. We can accept it from Barack because he's not Jamaican. But if you have some Jamaican blood in you, I can't say, go on. What?
But I mean, I'm pretty sure she have a greater commander at the patois than what she sure. I mean, initially it might look like, she might be thinking that Jamaica is not very marketable. Showing herself as a Jamaican at this time, it is not the best thing for her. But looking further on down the road, you might see a little bit more Caribbean Jamaican swag with her,
You think so?
Because every Jamaican, even if you just have Jamaican parentage, show that, right? Yeah, man, me I expect all a Jamaican flag on the vice president car when she drive down the street. Me I look out for that.
on the front plate.
Yes, man, on the front plate.
Big Jamaican dice in the mirror.
Yeah. me I look out for a little cultural day where she might talk about Louise Bennett. You know, I say, yo,
man,
boy, them people,
man.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, now that you say that, I can only imagine because I was watching some clips on not some clips, they had an Obama documentary on MSNBC this past weekend, and so they were just like showing some of the events that they had at the White House, you know, with Common and people that we listen to. I can't relate. They're not what's been going on in the past 4 years. So can you imagine having something like a cultural day? And then having like some Jamaican poets up there. Oh Lord, if that happens.
Yeah, but me now got too lick out for now yet because she not get a juggling yet, you know. It's still pending. Right?
Yeah.
So when she get a juggling,
it's not pending. It
not happen until she swears, you know. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But right now it's still just pending like your paycheck, because if you not get it yet, a bill's week, if you not get it yet, some bill are late. So
I said, Doc, are you so quiet tonight, Doc? You normally full of opinion.
Okay.
What?
I guess it's my turn to speak. Well, I mean, I don't know. You kind of moved on to Farron, so I'm just like, okay.
No, go on.
Moment. I don't know.
We can barely see you, by the way. You need to turn on your light.
Huh? Oh,
we can barely see you over there.
It's what? What did you say?
You're setting the mood over there.
Yes, of course. Hold on.
Who all up over there?
No. I'm a bit mixed here.
See that?
I'm a bit mixed here, right? In that, unfortunately, sometimes as parents, some things come back to bite us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to beat up on Mr. Harris, but yeah, in all seriousness, he probably should have done in hindsight, should have done a better job. So
we don't know.
With that being, no,
we don't know what happened.
No. Yeah,
Mommy could have said, you're not seeing these children. We don't act like that don't happen.
Yeah, but in the United States, there are legislations here to ensure that you see a child
She also moved to Canada. Mommy told them going to Canada. She went to high school in Canada.
But I'm sure if he probably had done his due diligence, the laws would have been in place for him to see his kids.
So blame the man. Gotcha.
No, I'm not blame him. I'm not gonna blame him. It's just, I'm just saying it would have been nice if if he had addressed the issue a little bit different.
So I'm whatless. Gotcha. Go on, man. You know how I am. Just go.
With that being said, that part of the Jamaican culture, she really missed out on it because you can't really miss what you never had. So a lot of Jamaicans are somewhat offended, right? But in all fairness, she can't give you what she don't have.
And where she comes from, India, you can't eat curry every day, man. We don't have problem too.
I don't see where she give no big preference to India. She talk about her mother. That does not mean she's giving preference to India over Jamaica.
Curry must run over there. Yeah,
but
is it curry chicken or chicken curry?
But I think here's what I think. I think if she probably had a decent relationship with the dad, she would have definitely embraced Jamaica a little bit more.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And I also think that if she really had a relationship with her father, because we can tell you, Mr. Harris come from out of St. Anne, okay? Old-time countryman.
Yeah,
you see him on site where he said he was evidently, and I honestly believe he was offended with the comment she made with the marijuana. When say, I mean, my God, even your forefather, they must have a rule in the grave based on the comments. So if she knew her dad, on a different
She
level.
would not have said
No,
that.
absolutely. You don't know if you can't do that because.
But nothing wrong with ganja, which is the next topic.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, because me come from Jamaica, my family come from Jamaica. I've never smoked marijuana yet. So you cannot say that.
Me drink
Yeah, man.
Watch it, the tone what she leave, you know. She said,
she drink the tea. You drink the tea, Doc? You drink the tea? Ganja tea?
No, I don't do nothing ganja. I've never experimented with that thing.
Okay,
right?
So you don't want the healing. You don't want the natural healing.
Me have healing.
I'm here say they drink enough over Devon, you know.
They do. I've had the tea before.
It's the healing of the nation.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
You know, that's the richest spice.
But you have to be careful with the community here because everything them here, them take it and run with it. Just like how some people believe, say, if you put the universal one, which is the bleach, in the IV, it would have killed the corona. You have to be careful when you educate people across here because
if you do what? Say that again.
Jamaican smoke marijuana, huh?
Say that again now. Ganja cure corona. Oh, you said?
With Trump. I say about a disinfectant. You know, no sense.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying because this culture is so delicate. You have to be careful what you put out there because a lot of them don't read. Okay, and then if you have some type of person where you look up to, you just run with whatever. But in all seriousness, there's a bunch of us, maybe 50, 60, 70. I don't know what. I mean, I want to go start messing with statistics and stuff. But enough Jamaicans that have never smoked marijuana, and there are people who really believe that as long as you come from Jamaica, worse that if you have dreadlocks, you smoke weed. You know.
As for the people listening. Ganja tea is not regular tea. Don't listen to them people out here.
Hey,
right?
It's healing.
Nobody said it was.
It's healing. It's the healing of the nation. Text.
But that is so true though, because when I just came to America, we had we were being mentored by University of Florida agronomic club students, and everybody when they heard I came from Jamaica thought I knew where to get the best weed, and I said, why would I know that? They're like, you're from Jamaica.
Plus the locks.
I've never smoked a weed forever in my whole life.
So what you do with locks then? Yeah, where's the locks, man?
I'm not a Rastafarian. I am a Christian every day of the week. I am a Christian. Man. I am not Rastafarian.
Yeah. Where's the locks? If you cut that off.
Let me soon cut them.
Hey, cut them and send some over here.
That is
getting back to the original
that's why her dad said what he did, because it is already a negative connotation towards Jamaica in terms of weed. So that's not something that they wanted him to, he would have wanted her to say in terms of Jamaica.
Yeah. That's what you think. Tell her what you think, Tex.
Well, I think we're gonna be in man.
All right,
man. So getting back to the original question, how do we feel about it? Well, I claim her, period. Let's look at the facts, okay? Father's Jamaican, mother's Indian, so she has Jamaican blood. So me personally, I think in our culture as a whole, we embrace her just because we know that. Now, do I have a little problem with her not embracing it like she should? At this point, no, not really. It's early. We don't know too much yet. It's early, and I think she's kind of treading lightly on everything she does. Now, nobody can tell me how to feel, and nobody can tell y'all how to feel. So, myself as a proud Jamaican, of course, I embrace her. So, like I said, Chris, you stated when she was on the Breakfast Club, she, made that statement, whatever. So, it's a matter of convenience right now to mention that, right? So, it depends on the fan base. So let's wait and see, and. The ladies basically pointed out to the fact the relationship with her father, and that's one thing we really don't know about. What do you say? It was early on as 5 that they got a divorce, when they have you. Dad might have, left under whatever circumstances, and that culture probably left with her. We don't know what kind of, memories she has or how she holds her father, what regard she holds, and that culture went out the window with that. So I, will just hold my judgment right now. Give her a chance. She hasn't even, made it to office yet. So I think we'll see that side at some point.
So, you think she got the pardon, Buju?
Too late now.
There you go.
Too late now.
You can't have a segment without Buju,
You haven't talked about Buju.
Have to.
Hey, if you pardon Buju, I'll forget. Pardon Buju and Free Cartel. Oi! All right. So, Kamala, I love Kamala Harris. You know,
I do too.
My father calls her cousin Kamala. Because it does feel like she's one of us because she come from, her father come from rural center and like we, so it does feel like we roll along the same paths and feel as our cousin some kind of way. So, cousin Kamala.
Everybody will come from Rona Saint and related. I keep telling Ferran that and into the group.
Yes.
No, seriously, they're all related. Everybody will come from Rona Saint and related.
Yeah.
You man, everybody from that section related.
Yeah.
Somehow will behave yourself, you know, and all bad. Somehow will behave yourself, man.
The whole everybody from around there. You hear?